Oh, hello there. Hi. Hello. Welcome. Welcome back to the Director's Commentary live stream for Could You Stop Movies Season 2. As usual, we're your hosts, Eric Langley. Eric, tell them about yourself
I'm the visual effects supervisor and DP of Could You Fry the Movie Season 2. Jake?
and Season 1.
Correct.
Jake, that's me. Hi, I am Jake Roper. I am the creator, producer, host, co-writer, and director of Could You Survive the Movies Season 2
And one.
and Season 1. What a treat. Boy, oh boy, do we have some action packed for you today. We're going to talk about Could You Survive?
A Quiet Place.
More gravitas. Could You Survive?
A Quiet Place?
And that's called directing. There you go. Welcome to our masterclass. Yeah, we're going to talk about A Quiet Place. If you haven't seen the full episode yet because it wasn't sent to your subscription feed, which none of them are, it's a nice quirk of YouTube Originals. There's a link to the full episode down in the description. So if you want to watch it without us talking or you want to watch it after without us talking, that's there for you. And guess what, everyone? We'll get into some questions and some hellos in just a moment. But tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Could You Survive Harry Potter comes out. Big cast.
Big cast.
Big cast in that one. We went all out.
A lot of fun.
A lot of fun, a lot of tears, a lot of laughs,
A lot of sadness.
a lot of sadness. That is my superpower. All right, what's going up in the chat, everybody? I did drop. Oh, yeah. He is also a beautiful person. You know, it's like Michelangelo chiseled him out of marble.
Did you use that one last week?
That was I said the Greek gods.
Oh, okay.
Olympus did it. This is just Michelangelo. Now it's just, even man somehow was able to capture his beauty. And they did a wonderful job.
Thanks, Jake.
He's a living statue come to life. And he's built like one. Very strong. Very muscular. There we go. What's up? Hi from Europe. Hello, Europe.
Hi, Europe.
Good to see you. I'm Jake. This is Eric, Europe. Pleasure. Spin Kitty! Oh, Spin Kitty's here. It's so nice to see a lot of the folks from the Discord and the Twitch in the chat. Oh, Lavi, second movie you've watched for the first time because of System. You hear that, movie studios? Keep working with us because we're driving traffic to your movies. Spin Kitty, how am I doing? I'm doing swell. How are you doing, Spin? Oh, and Jeff's here too. What's up, everybody? Hi from Russia. Hello, Russia. Hi from an Indian. Hello, Indian. Radha, good to see you.
Oh, fans here.
We have a Florida man. Sam, good to see you, Sam. How's Florida? Still
Human?
humid? Yeah, still very humid. Next movie, A Noisy Place. That's for the spin-off.
Yeah, I like that.
We'll do A Noisy Place. Instead of Die Hard, we'll do Die Soft. We can finally do Jumanji instead of Jumanji.
That's what else got outtakes. That was a good 10-15 minutes.
It was
trying
good.
to say that.
Harry Potter, Bald Potter. There's the options are endless.
It is, yeah.
Home Alone, Home with Guests. It's a little not as tense as Home Alone. Don't need as many traps because the house is just full of people. You know, that's the thing. If you made Home Alone now with the internet, he just like invite friends over.
True.
Except Braz?
Yeah.
Did he have no friends?
That's actually a good point. Like, there was no neighbor kids within...
Yeah. They're all on vacation?
Yeah,
Everyone just took off for a week? I don't know about that. Come to Brazil? I feel like someone asked that last time, and I believe we said yes.
Yep.
I'm not going to give you a time frame, but at some point in your life,
we will be there.
We will be in Brazil for when we do Fast and the Furious.
Are they in Brazil ever?
They're, I think, in the one with the bank vault.
Oh, they are.
I believe is in Brazil. Don't quote me on that, because all the Fast and Furious just blur together as one large fever dream.
We could do the movie. Could just survive Brazil.
No one would watch.
No.
No one would watch Could You Survive Brazil. Oh, and Greece, Triassic Park. That's a good one. Jill. Hi from the other mom.
Oh, Jill Francis. Hi, Jill Francis.
Hey, Jill Francis. Jill, you also look like you were chiseled from marble. Let's see. What else we got? Please do Jaws. I would love to. You know what I would prefer doing? Because Jaws is actually fairly realistic to a degree. Not like in how because sharks aren't like murderous beasts that will hunt your family line down, like we saw from Jaws 1 to Jaws 4. But yes, there's 4. Yeah, because Jaws 1, Jaws 2, which still has the sheriff.
Yeah.
Jaws 3 is the 3D one, which
should never.
And then Jaws 4, The Revenge or something with Michael Caine. And there's the famous Michael Caine quote where they're like, "Why were you in this terrible movie?"
Oh, yeah.
He's like, "Well, I've never seen the movie, but I have seen the house that it paid for."
Yeah.
Good.
Probably quite accurate, yeah.
But Deep Blue Sea. I would love to do Deep Blue
I knew
Sea.
you were going to say Deep.
Well, because nothing makes sense. They're like, they can swim backwards now. It's like, how? Because they have a bigger brain?
I was going to say, weren't they like breeding them to have bigger brains?
Yeah, it's like, how did the bigger brain... Anyway, but I would love to do Deep Blue Sea because there's also a lot of just fun physics in there.
Yeah.
We could talk about water pressure in a fun way. I could get my arm ripped off by a shark.
Maybe Samuel Jackson could be in it.
We could. We'd only need him for a little bit.
Yeah, short amount of time.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
Oh.
We don't do spoilers here. All right. Let's get in to A Quiet Place, shall we? We're going to start, and if you're new to this format, there's going to be a lot of Eric and I talking and a lot of us pausing.
Yeah.
But let's begin with Could You Survive the Movies? A Quiet Place. Transition. Oh, I should have. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Eric had a good point. Okay, let's get into Could You Survive the Movies? A Quiet Place. Transition.
What?
Transition. Transition!
Oh. Monster coming here to kill. I'll keep quiet with all the comments.
Yes. Our good friend the leaf blower.
Yeah, that shot took about half an hour to get correct.
For some reason the door's open. That's okay. I notice. Should have added a digital door.
Fun story about this set. It's about 2 feet wide, and that is it. That is all there is to it.
Actually, this is a... Let's go. Hold on. Transition. First pause. We made it 32 seconds.
That's pretty good.
I think that's longer than last time. So this set... So here's the thing. And I've said this numerous times, but we have limited resources when making this show. I know it looks very expensive. But we generally only can have one location. So, we have 2 days generally to film each narrative element per episode. So we have 2 days to film this, and we don't have time or money to go to different locations to film different parts. So we have to find locations that are a catch-all. That could just be everything for us. And this one was pretty good. One of the biggest issues, I would say, with this location was not only was it very small, and we're dealing with COVID here, so a lot of the sets when we're inside was a real difficult thing to film because Eric would be there shooting, and maybe one other person, like the sound person, and then myself and whoever I'm speaking with. And then if we need to change a lens, someone would have to leave. AC would come in with a new lens, swap the lens, and they would leave. Then the other person would come back in. But the other thing was that this, for an episode called A Quiet Place, we were literally right next to the road. So there was a lot of cars that would drive by, and we would just have to wait for a brief moment where we could actually speak with no background noise, because that would defeat the whole purpose of A Quiet Place if you just hear cars going off in the background. So there we go. I know you can't see my face. I apologize. I didn't think I'd be talking for so long. Oh, wait. Hold on. Okay, now let's go back to the episode. Transition. Oh, this was a nice young man named Abner. Very talented, very sweet kid. His mother and him were very, very nice.
Yeah.
So this is probably the smallest set that we filmed on.
This is literally the size of the house.
So that's why we
it
go...
looks big from the outside, but it's just this.
It's just this. Yeah, this is it.
Before being trapped in a world with sound-sensitive murder
that's why actually during this we go back outside because there wasn't enough
and movies. So I decided to put myself in one of my favorite monster films, A Quiet Place, to find out. Hey, could you be quiet back there? You don't want to die like the kid in the movie did, huh? Horribly, horrible death. Kids.
See, look at that reaction.
A bundle of laughs.
That's how most people react when I speak.
Pretty loud, but I found him wandering around, decided maybe I'd help him find his family while I look for my missing
this is how we got Kevin Lieber in.
Family.
Because Kevin couldn't fly out here, so this is how we got him in the show.
And as long as we don't make a lot of sound, I think we should be okay. Which got me thinking, hey kid, come on. What is sound? What exactly does it mean to hear?
Yeah, the bell
Is
just
it
stopped
possible
working.
to weaponize sound?
Ooh, that FLIR. We'll talk about that
Perhaps
FLIR
most
camera. That's
importantly,
really cool.
could
Here
you
we
stay
go.
quiet enough to survive the wrath of a bloodthirsty
We got some
alien
things to talk about
with superhuman
after this scene.
hearing?
The alien says,
Could you survive a quiet place?
Best attempt at recreating.
Oh no!
Abner!
Abner! All right. And transition. It worked there. Lavi, do you get donations in Twitch right now? I don't know. Am I live on Twitch right now? I shouldn't be. I'm not sure. So, let's talk about that intro for a moment.
Which part of it?
Mainly when we get to that little pond. So that wasn't what it was supposed to be like, if I recall.
No.
That wasn't originally what Eric and I had envisioned. A few things happened. When you work with child actors, you can only have them for a very short amount of time. I believe it's, 5 hours?
I believe so.
Is that what it was?
Something around there.
So usually for adults, we can be on set for 10, 12 hours. That's fine. If you have a child actor, they can only be on set for 5 hours. That's the max.
Yeah.
So we were filming that whole scene next to the pond. We had all these shots. I believe at some point the alien was actually supposed to come out of the water, right?
Yeah.
Like come through the
Yes.
water,
Mm-hmm.
come behind him and grab the kid. But we mishandled our time.
Yeah.
And we realized that we thought we had an hour left with the kid. Turns out we didn't.
Yeah. We had about 20 minutes.
Yeah, and we hadn't filmed the ending yet, which the kid is also in, which
Yeah.
Abner's also in. So Eric did a great job. Everyone did a great job. We were like running.
We got enough shots to finish that intro as,
Yeah,
bare minimum shots.
Because we were talking about like, do we have it? I think we got it. Like we
Yeah.
have enough to make something.
Yeah.
And we just had to all run to where we filmed the outro of the episode and just film the ending real quick.
Yeah.
But we can only film Abner's part. We didn't film my scenes in the ending until the following day.
Which is why Jake and Abner never share.
Yeah, we're never together in the ending.
Filmed on a separate day.
Because it was filmed entirely separate. So that was one thing. Another thing that happened a lot in this episode was, so here's a fun thing. You might not think about this, but for this show in particular, we have a lot of lawyers who work on this thing because we don't want to get sued into the ground because we're obviously mimicking other people's IP.
Yeah.
And this episode in particular, which actually surprised me, we had the most issues with fair use. I thought Harry Potter was going to be the biggest one, but it turned out it wasn't. This one did. So the way it works is...
Kind of my fault, too.
No, it's not your fault. They're just, oh yeah, it's my fault because I'm too good at making graphics. But the script has to be sent to fair use lawyers after we write it, and then they'll give us notes and I have to make changes. And then once the video's finished, they also have to then approve it.
Right.
So we'll start with the latter here. What happened at the end, they were like, the alien looks too good. It looks too much like the alien from the movie. Either completely redo it or show less of it.
Yeah. I spent about a month making it and
Yep.
rigging it and designing it. So remaking it from scratch was not really an option.
Yeah.
So we had to cut, I think, about a minute. of
Yeah, we
this
cut
footage out.
about a minute of the alien out, which was a real bummer because Eric, like, there's some really good close-up shots
Yeah.
that I watched and I was like, that's real. That looks like we actually had an animatronic thing. Someone says, Tech Prone. Yo-Yo Sid said, isn't that why twins sometimes play the same character? That is exactly why.
Yeah. Switch.
Because if you get twins, you can have a full day of shooting with the same actor.
Yeah.
We did not have that ability. But yeah, so what Eric was saying with the hopefully maybe in a future live stream, Eric can bring in some of the VFX work so you can actually see how it was created, what it looked like, and maybe we'll be able to show more of the alien and I won't get sued. But that was an issue. The other big issue that we ran into was this one was weird. How the alien dies. So in the movie, they use sound to expose their fleshy heads, and that then allows them to shoot them or stab them, whatever they want to do.
Right. Or, it lifts their arm.
Yeah, it lifts them. We were told we couldn't do that
Mhm.
because that would be too specific to the movie and could get us in trouble. So in this version, we changed it to the sound is actually what does kill them.
Yeah.
And that isn't because we didn't know how it is in the movie. That was so we didn't get sued by a very, very large movie studio with lots more money than we have.
And Jake in a shotgun doesn't really play
Yeah.
into educational.
That's another thing. We're trying to make an educational show that can be played in schools, and I didn't want to just be like, and let's just shoot things with guns for no reason.
It's a bit of a
So
twofer.
I was fine making that concession because
Yeah.
I was like, whatever. It's okay. But there we go. Can you please speak a tad faster? How dare you, Bran? This is how I speak. I speak quickly. Have you
That's
never
what I'm
watched my videos? Eric, do you have your own channel or a social media that you post your work on?
Yeah, I do have a YouTube channel. It has one video on it. And it was about how I made the graphics for one of our older videos. Could You Survive? No, it wasn't Could You Survive. What was it?
Oh, it was
That 80s themed one.
Oh, it was What If the World Ended?
What if
I think. Yeah. So check out Eric. How much time did you guys spend to make the alien, and which software did you use?
it was about a month because we were also shooting at the same time. So when we weren't shooting, I was working on that. It was about a month to make it because there's a lot of components to that alien. I bought a base model off of TurboSquid and I brought it into ZBrush and built it out into the Quiet Place alien. I think they have a name. I forgot what it was. So yeah, it took quite a bit of time to get it to look close because I'm not a creature artist. Like, it's not something I do. I just know how to do it. So he was modeled in ZBrush, and I brought him to Cinema 4D where I rigged his panels, and he has like a meshy inside. So it was a lot of different layers. So Cinema 4D was.
Well, it looks good, Eric.
Thanks.
It looks very good. What up, Big Kaz? All right, we're 2 minutes in. We still got like 20 hours to go. So let's get back into A Quiet Place. Transition.
That was close. The kid? Oh, he should be fine. Also, this is a rather
called
serious way to
covering a
illustrate
cut.
that we can't
We cut out a
make
whole
a
couple
sound.
lines there.
Yep.
And speaking of which, sound is really a series of longitudinal pressure waves that travel through a medium like air
So this
or
it wasn't-
water.
This science
But
week
they
was
can also
actually a
travel
lot
through
longer.
solid objects,
we
too.
went into detail about how microphones
Hearing
and
is just
speakers
the
actually
detection
work,
of
and we
these
actually
increases
had,
and decreases
like a
in
microphone
pressure
speaker set up.
that occur at regular intervals.
But we ended
as
up cutting
full
that
segments
out
of air
because it
are
just slowed everything
compressed.
down.
Yeah.
And
These
wasn't
rapid
visually
changes
that
in pressure
interesting.
enter our ear
But that was
canals
probably like a 2-minute section.
and vibrate our eardrums. And those vibrations are translated into electrical pulses in the middle and inner ear,
model.
which then travel to the auditory cortex of
Hammered.
the brain.
So you didn't just photoscan an
processes
alien?
them.
Oh,
and we
Eric, you should
perceive
just photoscan an alien.
sound. The mechanical
Idiot.
energy of sound turns into electrical energy, which is also how microphones and speakers work. And speaking of microphones, this little device contains one, and it uses it to measure the intensity of sound signals. Could be pretty useful in figuring out whether we're being loud enough to get eaten by one of those horrific monsters that's making my life hell.
Yeah, cutting material is sometimes difficult.
Oh, you're
But
still alive.
It's also this thing where, like, you obviously
Oh,
love
kid,
everything that you make.
I really thought I lost you out there.
But sometimes
It's
when you
good
see it
to
all
see you,
put
but
together,
wait,
you're like,
what
you know
is
what?
that?
On a script, it worked. Now together, it doesn't. Oh, don't you do it! After! Ooh, look at that. 8K resolution. Ooh.
This shot.
Yeah, talk about that, Eric. Hold on.
Kid,
Hold on.
come
Allow me. Would you like to transition?
No, we can just talk about it.
No. You should just transition.
So that's they call it a vertigo shot because it was used for the first time in the movie Vertigo by Alfred Hitchcock. But this was a bit different because usually you do it on a rail system, and we did not have time
Nope.
or money for that. So it was a freehand vertigo shot where it's basically just me with a handheld rig running towards Jake while our AC zoomed out
Yep.
and rack focus at the same time, which is very difficult to have that free movement because we had start and stop points, but we didn't have them like super defined.
Yep. But it looks great. Here, let's watch transition.
Shout out Holly.
Yeah, good job, Holly. You crushed it.
That's
So
not an
this
easy thing to do.
is our poor man's vertigo shot.
So I'm running towards Jake.
Let's go. This is in reverse.
Actually, it's the other way. I'm close and I'm running.
Yeah, you're running
backwards.
back.
Yeah.
Zooming in.
Zooming in at the same time, which pulls the background.
Compressive
Close.
it, yeah. To give you this effect.
Yeah.
And it's pretty good. Like, I'm
You
a
lose
little
focus,
soft there, but pretty much sharp the whole way through.
which is super impressive.
Good job, Eric.
Good job, Holly.
Kid, come on!
Oh, this was... So, we had fake feet for me to run in, but they didn't look particularly great. So I
What
ran
is
barefoot
The quiet
for this episode.
place.
Yeah.
And I got a stick stuck in the bottom of my foot
What is
and a piece of glass.
quiet? Can we
That was
imagine
really
it
fun.
in our minds? It's kind of a difficult concept to understand because have you ever really experienced
And this was
true
filmed like 2
quiet?
months
'Cause
after we
sound,
filmed the
as
episode.
we know, travels. It hits surfaces,
So this was
bounces back off, it reflects.
supposed
So
to
if we
be.
wanted to, we'd have to create a room filled with sound panels.
We
on the
actually
ones
were going to go
behind
to
it
an
that
anechoic
absorb
chamber.
those
So this is one of
reflections.
the instances
If we
where
wanted to find the quietest
COVID
place,
didn't help us.
we would need an anechoic chamber.
Because usually COVID got us locations for a lot less because no one was using them. For the anechoic chamber we were going to use, they were going to give it to us, so we had planned on filming there. But then with COVID, they were like, "Listen, we're not comfortable with anyone being here anymore. So sorry, guys."
Yeah.
So we couldn't actually go to the anechoic chamber.
Because that's a real.
That's a real one. So that was a bummer, but we were able to, with our sound designer, recreate what you would hear. So like. What you're about to hear in a little bit, all these, and I'll shut up in a second, but all these more amplified sounds of your body, that's actually real.
So I'm going to do my best right now.
Those
to
aren't
demonstrate
fake.
that
So let's
for you.
listen to it.
You know what? Let's get rid of the air conditioning noise. All right, that's better, and also the hum of the lights. You know what? Let's just get rid of all ambient noise around me. And now it's just my voice, but even the microphone that's picking up my voice is making noise. It's picking up other sounds. So let's isolate my voice. Okay, now it's just you and me, but we can still hear sound coming from right here. So let's get rid of that too. When we remove all external noise, what we're left with is internal noise. That is the sounds of our body. The blood pumping through your veins. Your eyes blinking. The fabric on your clothes when you move. We are always surrounded by sound. So here on Earth, there is no true quiet. That is a place
It is a
completely
cool one,
devoid
because that's like literally
of
what you
sound.
hear
Because as we
in an
remove
anechoic
the
chamber
noises
is you start
around us,
hearing
we
your
start to
body
hear
operating,
things
which
that
I think is so
generally
wild.
Don't. And if we can
Yeah.
hear the sounds in the
It is like you
aliens,
can
probably hear them.
actually, people are like, "Oh, I heard your
which
stomach
makes
rumble." You
sense,
can
'cause
always
in the
hear it.
movie,
You can
they
always
would
hear the
mask
blood
their
going through your
conversations
body.
by
You
going
can hear the
to a
saliva
loud,
being
consistent
generated in your mouth.
waterfall.
It's wild.
That would be pretty useful right now. That was a pretty cool demonstration, right? Right, kid? Kid?
Amazing how similar you can look 2 months later.
Well, he's probably
Jamal,
just a lot faster than me.
that is a bodily sound
moving
to a
on.
degree. If you're talking about like tinnitus, things like that. Also, we talked about it in the episode, but every time you hear a ringing in your ears, just naturally, like you weren't listening to loud music, that is a frequency dying. And you will never hear that frequency ever again, so enjoy it while you hear it die. Hugs and kisses, Jake Rover.
Close one. That was a close
Ooh.
one.
That was a close one. Oh, now we get to the most enjoyable part of this episode are both Ricky, 12 Tone, and
Sorry
Abner.
to bother you. I'm just
Because this episode was such a nightmare.
Walking around and
Ricky was so good.
Yes.
yeah. Sorry. Okay, that's my bad. So I'm looking for a little kid, and he's pretty loud.
It's from your
and
body,
The
I'm not
aliens
hearing
are
anything.
pretty diabolical. So I've just been. No, I don't think they followed me at all.
It's called face acting.
Hey, what are you doing?
Oh, thank you, sweet bread and milk. Let Jeff Bezos know that he's welcome for us giving him money to go to space.
This is an empty cabin,
Yep.
by the way,
So
which is
completely
right
empty.
You've been able
next
to keep
to
yourself
the
safe here from the monsters.
house
But
in
what's
the
your
beginning.
secret? Okay, so
Oh,
I don't know how to
I got
ask
one thing to
this.
talk about in a second. I'll wait for this scene to end.
yeah.
In addition to reading lips, another way deaf people can experience sound is to
Sorry,
feel
Ricky, I'm
it.
going to interrupt you. I
Our senses-
apologize. So one thing, transition, that I want to talk about is this episode to me was probably the most stressful one while filming to make, I would think. Because I think Eric and I got a little overeager with how many shots we think we could do.
It's only like 75.
Yeah, it was a lot of shots. And like we talked about in a previous live stream, the more shots you have, the longer it takes. Because a different shot literally means changing the setup. So
Everyone takes a break, you move camera.
yeah, you gotta move camera, maybe
There's
adjust
a lot
lighting.
of people on set too, so like to get everyone.
And we did a lot in this one. We tried to do a lot of shots. And that was it was literally nonstop. From when we got there, I think it was like 6 a.m., 7 a.m.
Something around there. Yeah.
until when we finished filming, like 8 or 9 p.m. It was nonstop. We only stopped for lunch, and that was it. It was always filming, had to get things done. It was so stressful. I actually really felt bad for Ricky and 12 Tone, because one thing that's really fun about this show is we get to hang out with our creator friends. We don't get to see that often. And I literally got no time to spend with either of them outside of when we're filming scenes.
Yeah. It was nonstop.
Because always we'd finish scene and be like, okay, we got to run over here now. Bye, Ricky. And then we'd run and go somewhere else and film something else. It was, this one was a real nightmare.
Well, in each location, it was all in one location, which was really nice. Like this entire episode is one location, but they're distance apart. So moving camera and people and everything takes time.
And it wasn't as easy to just hop in a car because
Right.
a lot of this was on dirt roads.
Yeah.
So we had to get what we call gators, which are like,
UTVs.
yeah, UTVs, like very nice golf carts. Not nice, I shouldn't say that. Golf carts that can go on terrain that isn't just a golf course. But they go slow. And they can only carry 4 people, including a driver.
And then equipment.
So it was just a huge... This one was a real...
It was difficult.
A real difficult task, but we did it. And that's
We
what
got all of our shots.
We did get all... Well, outside of the intro and the outro and...
Enough to make the episode.
And the glass, which we'll talk about, and some other things. Besides all that stuff, we did get everything.
Yes.
We got the things that we needed to make an actual narrative episode. Which scene was your favorite to film, Winger S? In this episode? I know what you're going to say.
What am I going to say?
Either when I get covered in alien goo, or the vertigo shot.
Vertigo shot was fun just because it was something we haven't really done before, and it was surprising that we actually got it. I actually kind of like this cabin scene the most because when we got in there, the sun rays that were coming through there were not us. That was just the sun coming through the windows in like a really cool way. And like those moments are always really nice when you get like a free lighting, as they call it, from the sun.
Thanks, sun.
Yeah, thanks, sun.
Yeah, I would say mine was probably...
Is it a blur?
I don't remember. Oh, you know what? I really enjoyed when we did the Chladni plate and the Oobleck.
Oh yeah,
That was really fun to do.
You mean the time where you weren't on camera?
Yeah, when I wasn't on camera, I really enjoyed it. Don Slink asked, is a zombie movie an actual movie or is it just the genre? So we'll talk about that more in a zombie movie, but it's just generic zombie movie. We cover a bunch of them. Because the issue that I ran into when writing that one was, what is like the one zombie movie? What is the defining zombie movie?
Yeah.
I think everyone has their own favorite zombie movie, so I wanted to celebrate all of them. But anyway, let's get back into this, shall we? Can you make an Infinity 4? Working on it, big boy. I've been working on it for the past 2 years.
I thought that was her name.
No, their name's not Big Boy. It's just Big Kaz, but I went for Big Boy. Anyway, transition!
Senses are densely interconnected, and since sound exists as a physical vibration, it's not surprising that our senses of hearing and touch are connected. Research suggests that our brains are wired from birth to incorporate information from
Mark
our
asks, how does someone become a Vsauce? You gotta pay Michael $20 million. No, you don't have to do that. I don't know how you become a Vsauce. Really?
Get in early.
Yeah, get in early. I think the ship sailed for new Vsauces. All right, everyone, guess. Cover your ears. Put a hand on the speaker. Ooh, Sum's here too. What up, Sum? Ooh, Radha, how long did it take to make this video? I mean, here's what we did. We started writing in April of last year. We started filming in January of this year. We finished filming... When did we finish filming? I guess end of March? Is that when I did the Blue Angels thing, right? That was the last thing. So I guess we finished filming end of March, and then we finished everything, editing, in May. Yeah, so I mean, it took over a year in total to make this season. NG, do you usually reach out to creators, or do they reach out to you? I usually reach out because they're all my friends, so I'll just shoot them a text and be like, hey, dude, you want to be in our show? And they usually say yes, which is awesome. Some don't go to sleep. We got a party going on here.
Out section.
The sand is sitting atop a Chladni plate.
Weird how that like just turns into
A
static.
piece of metal that restricts sound
Well, that's,
waves to a
actually,
finite
Tom Scott
space,
has a video about
allowing
that.
us to see the standing wave pattern associated with different frequencies. Now each frequency causes the plate to vibrate in a different way. And the sand
What
arranges
connection between you
itself
guys
along
and
the
Michael?
lines of those vibrations.
We're all friends
Where
with
there are the
Michael,
least vibrations,
and we all
that's
work
called the
together
nodes of the
because we're all
standing wave.
Vsauce. But I've known Michael
And they move away
since
from the parts of the
2011,
most
so for
vibration,
10 years.
the
I've known Michael.
antinodes. So you are actually seeing the
No,
sound
the music
as it
that you're
moves across
hearing
the
is
Chladni
not the
plate
music
and
that's going.
through
It's
the
basically just
sand.
frequencies that we're playing.
The non-Newtonian fluid,
So when
our
we show the
oobleck,
hertz, that's the
provides more of a
actual hertz that we're
three-dimensional
playing out of the speaker.
It's just
visualization
a
of the
tone.
standing
Yeah,
wave
we're just playing
pattern.
tones.
The peaks and valleys of the oobleck are the antinodes, and the flat areas are the nodes.
When will you guys be live on Twitch,
Fun
Grim
fact,
Reaper?
standing
When I
waves
have
that
time
move
to be
through
on
liquid
Twitch
are
again.
called Faraday waves.
That looks so
So
cool.
both the sand and the
That's a
oobleck
Phantom
make the
shot.
normally
Yep.
invisible, that is sound
Good old
waves,
Phantom.
visible. Plus, it just looks really cool.
That's sped up Phantom footage, actually.
Yep.
The real shit, it's like not moving.
You know, you can come with me if you want. Be a great help.
We should really talk about the Scream. I think the Scream is deserving of a transition.
Thank
in a
you, and I
moment.
will. Safety first, Ricky.
I hope Dave Brown watched that. I can't believe how good that was. So, oh man.
Why don't you tell us about the Scream, Eric?
Okay, well, while we were shooting this, our showrunner Dave Brown, which he will deny, but I'm going to say he 100% said this. He told Jake not to scream because his face looks weird when he screams. So Jake just kind of made a face pretending to scream, which is a funny face to begin with. And then in post, we added one of Jake's like an ADR scream, like a fake one. And it was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. It was so
I can
bad.
reenact it for you. It
Yeah.
sounded a little bit like this. I think it was something like.
And you ended up with that shot, and it's just, it was. I think we left for quite a while.
It was real. Scorch, is she actually deaf? She is. Ricky is a wonderful creator, and she is a deaf person, a deaf activist. And it was very important to me to have this character portrayed by someone who actually was deaf. I didn't want to have to fake it because like there is such a wonderful and vibrant deaf community on YouTube. It just made sense to me to reach into that community. And I've known Ricky for 6 years now, so
Yeah.
I've always been trying to figure out something I can put her in.
And it pairs so well with this episode.
Oh yeah. Parmesan Pistol, why are you wearing AirPods Max with a cable? Just get better monitors. Well, here's the thing. We have to wear headphones because if we didn't, you would hear the audio coming out of our speakers back into the microphone.
Yeah.
The second thing is, I have a headphone splitter. I don't trust using Bluetooth for something like this. I want it to be wired. So both of our headphones are plugged in through a headphone splitter.
Delays.
Because with Bluetooth is delayed, it could just drop out, and then you lose audio, and I don't have to troubleshoot.
Yeah.
There you go. Transition.
No. No, you save yourself, Ricky. I got this.
Did I really step on that nail? I did, but it was a fake nail.
And it just went through the floor.
Yeah, I just went to the floorboard and is now part of this set forever.
This is where you got the glass.
Yeah, this is me actually limping because there was glass in my foot. Oh, do you want to talk about how you do nighttime shots? Because this is actually kind of cool, I think. I think this is kind of cool.
Yeah, so our one of our genie guys, Dalip, came up with this rig, which is pretty cool. It's a scissors lift with like, I think he had like 10 just tubes of light strung up to it, and he raised it up like maybe 20, 30 feet in the air and just blasted the forest with light. And it put out enough light to light up this entire forest.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So this is actually not, but yeah, we just have a scissor lift with light shooting it over.
Yeah, there was a road like right up on the left of Jake there. So it was already high to begin with, so he just blasted a ton of light.
Yep.
Which is really smart.
But that's the thing, like, to me, one of my favorite movie tropes is nighttime in movies. Because if you've ever been outside in the woods at night, you can't see anything.
Yeah.
The moon isn't some beacon of hope that just illuminates everything.
Yeah.
So, like, even in this, like...
It's also funny,
it's
your key
never-
light
Oh, yeah.
here is on the other,
Other
side.
There's 2 moons. Really bright moons. So someone asked, how does the nail work? So it's just a fake nail. I believe it was rubber.
Yeah.
And so when I put the pressure of my foot on it, it just went fully down into the board.
And if it was just on the ground, his foot would have just crushed it, like
Yeah, it would just
squashed
crushed.
it because it was rubber.
There was another good one that I saw. Oh, how much control? Cameron asks, how much control do you have over directing and cinematography? Complete control, I would say, for both of us.
Yes.
You know, because the thing is, no one can interject when we're directing or doing the cinematography. They interject during the scripting phase where they'll give notes on the script.
Yeah.
But once we're actually on set filming,
I mean, we confer with our departments too,
Yeah.
like best way to do stuff. Like Dalip and Jeff are great gaffers. So that's where they came up with the rig for this nighttime shot here. Because normally, if you're doing like a higher budget thing, you have a balloon that floats in the air and it like creates this amazingly soft light. But as we said, this is not a very high budget show, so it's a great solution for that.
And actually, here's a good one. Where was it? Oh, why didn't you? So Kazio asked, why didn't you use a dolly zoom, or why didn't you use a drone like the DJI Mavic 2 zoom for the dolly zoom? And this actually makes an interesting thing. When you're doing productions of this level, there's a lot of things that have to happen. If you have a drone, it's not just like if
We were
Eric and I were
supposed to
doing,
have a drone.
we were,
Yeah.
but it costs a lot because you have to have a licensed drone operator.
Yeah.
Like Eric and I, we own drones. We can fly them, but we're not licensed drone operators.
Yeah.
You have to have a licensed drone operator, which costs more money.
And insurance.
And insurance. They also, because we have nice drones. We have the Inspire, like a really nice one.
Yeah.
But our Inspire isn't registered to the drone operator. So the drone operator can only use the drones that they use. So it's just a huge expense, and it's a huge
And also, depending
logistical
on
thing.
location, you're not allowed to fly drones. Like,
So,
that's
yes.
one of the reasons we couldn't fly here as well. Is this was an area where you literally cannot fly drones.
Yeah, we couldn't fly drones here. Same thing happened with Harry Potter.
Yeah.
We couldn't fly drones there. So you have to actually follow the law. It's not just like you going out and playing with your drone in a field for fun. When it's actually for a production, you have to get a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of liability
Um,
of these things.
So there you go. All right, back to the show with a
Transition.
That's just somebody throwing leaves.
Jake jumping off a ladder. Onto
Yeah, that's me jumping off a ladder. Eric added some digital leaves in there. Let's see. Oh, we got 12 tone.
Hey, Jake.
12 tone did a great job.
Yeah.
They were really good.
12 tone?
Hey, man. It's nice to see the trap door works.
Yeah, and I'm totally fine as well.
Hey, 12 tone.
Hey, 12 tone.
This is also a
sorry,
very
I was working
small
on a really
room.
tricky modulation. Hey, you
It
wouldn't
was
happen to know a good
actually
pivot
not
chord
really
from E
set,
to B
it's
flat,
just-
would you?
It was an actual
No,
garage.
Yeah, it's an actual.
Been a little busy trying to survive, and also
great.
looking for
Reset
my
cursing.
Vsauce
Lavi,
family. Have
you didn't
seen
hear the
these
high-pitched sound?
dudes? And,
Well,
maybe a little kid. He's like, yeah,
might wanna
hi,
get
likes
yours
to make
checked,
noise.
Nah, dude, I've been down here. Don't you know there's aliens running around up there? They've got superhuman hearing.
Sean Nugent National
Yeah.
Park. Oh, yes.
I
Thank
know.
you, Sean.
But
Sean
did
is
you
our
know
wonderful
we might
line
be able to
producer
defeat
and,
it by weaponizing sound.
and executive in charge for the show. Sean Nugent loves the
So
Miami
these aliens
Dolphins.
have an
But yeah, we
extreme
couldn't
sensitivity to
fly a
sound.
drone because it was a
That
national
may seem
park.
like a
That's
superpower, but
gross.
couldn't it also be a weakness?
Are you using
I have a
gels for that
theory
red
that
tune?
we
No,
use
that's
sound itself to fight
these
them.
two. What are the
After
Astras?
all,
Is
what
that
would
what
your
we're
weapon
using?
of choice be
Asteras.
if you had to
Asteras,
fight
yeah.
someone
The
with an
Asteras
extreme
can
gluten
change any
sensitivity?
color.
color you want.
Gluten.
It's like a hue light
I gotta
bulb,
admit,
but
that
for film.
logic is
So this
sound.
is a
So
really
young
wonderful
person
Eric
usually
VFX
hears
shot.
sound
Oh, yeah,
frequencies
thanks,
between
Jake.
about 20 hertz and
You're welcome.
20,000 hertz. And just as a refresher, hertz is a unit of cycles per second. So a 20 hertz sound is
Any
created when
heated
air
arguments or
alternates
intense
between low
situations?
and high pressure
I would say the
20
intense situation
times
is just the
in a
entire
second.
situation of filming
And
the
as
show
hertz age,
2
the
days.
high
in
end
2
of their
days.
hearing
That's what's because
deteriorates.
like Eric and I
So
generally
if
agree on
one
everything,
kilohertz
which is why we
signal,
like working together.
Unless it's this.
It
the
acts as a
event
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
Eric hated me
dog
for this.
whistle for younger listeners
But it was just like because it would have been
who still
just
have the
3
high
minutes
end
of
their hearing.
12 tone and I
It's
talking,
the
and this
same
just
principle
like this
as an
existed. This was
actual
on set. I was
dog
like,
whistle, which
Eric,
works
just
because
digitally add a
dogs
Synology
can
screen.
go
It is cool.
45 kilohertz, which is well above the human range.
Lobby, why are you hearing donation sounds in the
So
background?
what was
Someone must
bad
be
about
donating
making a
on
weapon
Twitch,
out
I
of
guess.
sound to defeat the aliens?
Well, people have come up with a lot of interesting ways of weaponizing sound. You've probably heard of that thing where an opera singer
Oh,
shatters
yeah.
a wine glass with just the power of their voice.
How did you get on TV? On TV?
So let's pause there for a second. Let's talk about breaking glass using sounds. Transition, thank you. We actually did it practically.
Yeah.
We were able. It took a lot of time, but we were able to actually get a glass breaking with sound. We even got it in phantom slow motion. But the way a phantom camera works, if you've never used one, a phantom camera doesn't have a hard drive inside of it. It doesn't have like an SD card that you put in. The phantom records to RAM, the same RAM that you have in your computer, and it can store things for a little bit, but it can't save it permanently. And if the
It's a
camera
lot,
shuts off, it just gets erased. So you have to save it from the phantom. It's directly plugged in through an Ethernet cord to a computer. Save it on a computer. What happened here was the phantom shut down, and we lost the footage. And we didn't have enough time to try and film it again, so I reached out to my friend Diana, and she let us use a clip of her breaking a glass with her voice. So thank you, Diana. That was very nice of you. We very much appreciate that. You saved our butts.
The 2 hours listening to a tone with a glass in front of it, all for nothing.
So there you go. Whoop! Transition.
Breaking a glass with sound is very cool, but probably not powerful
Ron
enough
Tom,
for our needs.
doing
because
great.
In the
How are you
film A
doing?
Quiet Place, they use a high-frequency sound weapon.
So this is
to
a way to take
kill
creative
the
liberties so we
aliens.
didn't get sued.
So, is there a device in real life that can do the same thing?
So this
Well, we just happen to have a
gentleman named Ben
machine
Jordan,
to
if you watch the BTS,
just that.
there's a
What
good
are we
segment on
testing
Ben.
it on?
He built this
Me.
sound weapon for us,
Our sound
and we
can
can't
is
call
made
it what it
of
actually
4
is. It
speakers,
is
with their
actually
cones positioned
very
to send
similar to
sound
what the
waves in the
military and
same
the police
direction.
use to disperse crowds.
To discover the power
Like,
and
it's literally the
efficacy
same
of the sound
principle.
cannon,
So this is
we're
a
testing
sonic
2
sound weapon.
factors.
We just
Distance from the weapon,
legally
and
could
the
not call it
frequency of
that
the
because
sound
it would get in
being
trouble.
emitted.
Oh, this FLIR camera. Real quick. FLIR, we love FLIR. We use FLIR a lot.
Yeah.
I remember talking to them because I was like, hey, can one of your... Sorry, let's just transition. I was like, hey, I know that your cameras can see thermal. You have different sensors and filters to see gas. Do you have a camera that can see sound waves?
Which, if there's one company to ask, it would be FLIR.
And they said, we literally just made a camera
Yeah.
that can see sound.
The SI124.
And this is it. So it can show you where noise is coming from. Similar to a decibel meter, but with a visual representation.
Yeah, I think their main use, they said this was for looking for sound leaks in like studios and stuff like that, but it worked really well for our purposes of showing, where the sound is coming from.
Oh, Cameron asked a good question. What was the biggest struggle throughout filming? I would say time.
Time, yeah.
Always, not just on set time, but also once we're in post, like Eric doing all the VFX. If he had more time, his life would probably be easier. If we had more time to film the episodes, probably easier. So time is our biggest enemy.
We're trying to make something, I would say, pretty grandiose for what we're doing. So like time is always our biggest constraint because we want to make it the best possible show we can.
I like you just did a little Italian. The best possible show.
Yes.
I don't know. That's like, I don't know who that was. That was like
Mario.
Drunk Mario. You're like, a princess,
Yeah.
I'll save you after this a beer.
Is that your Jamaican accent too?
This is also Jamaican. I'm a man of the people.
Yeah.
Okay. And transition. Oh wait, actually, never mind. Jalen asked, what is something that went wrong on set?
This episode specifically?
Yeah, this episode, everything.
Losing time with Abner was a big
Yeah.
because it kind of made our day so much harder.
Well, that's the thing though. Like, so when it comes to crazy problem solving, like kind of we discussed with Abner,
Yeah.
we just filmed his stuff.
Yeah.
And then the next day we filmed my stuff.
So trying to match and
To make it look the same. So I don't think, if I never told you that, if you were to watch the end scene with Abner and I, you would think we were both in the same room actually talking to each other.
And once we lit Abner within like 2 minutes, we were kind of locked into that lighting style for the whole scene. So that was real fun.
But yeah, just a lot of, I'm getting sued by Nintendo. Bring it on, Nintendo. Actually, don't sue me, please.
Yeah, please.
I don't have Nintendo money. All right. And transition.
It's connected to a frequency generator that will provide the sound which will be shot at me.
Oh, what did you think of the
Alright.
actual movie? I really
Let's
like A
make
Quiet
some
Place
noise.
and A Quiet
Yeah,
Place
I am
Part 2. I
5
think
meters
it's
away
the
from the
second one,
device. Now let's
Oh.
take it up to 4,000
Well,
hertz,
get it for
please.
it.
Yeah. Child.
It's on Paramount Plus now.
This sound generated is incredibly annoying.
So this one was
and we don't want to subject
not
you to
fun.
it, so please
No.
enjoy
This
Bob's
was, and I
Challenge
feel
Theme.
bad because my reaction
Number
isn't
1.
like, I'm not crying or anything, but it was really,
Set the
really,
device
really
to around
painful.
130 decibels.
Like,
The
I
same
cannot
volume as
express
the jet
enough
engine taking off.
how unenjoyable
While
this
the
was.
volume will
I was in
cause
front of
some
it for a
pain in my
little bit and it
ears,
was really
it
not.
won't incapacitate me.
Like, I remember
All
while
right,
we were
now
doing
let's
this,
just go up to 2
for
meters.
for a brief moment of time, I just couldn't hear anymore.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear anything.
I felt physically nauseous.
Yeah, and that's Eric did, like, Dave, our
At
showrunner,
2
tried it
meters,
out,
the effects
and
are
most people,
immediate.
felt
The
nauseous
pain is
afterwards.
overwhelming. Freezing
Luckily,
me in
I don't eat
place.
food, so I
Turns
had
out
no-
the pain is because the
nothing to throw up.
frequency is triggering my auditory nociception system.
You just need air.
A single
Just
set
air.
of neurons in your ear that react to high frequencies. When cells in the inner ear are damaged, like by
Oh,
a really
Parmesan.
high frequency,
Thank you for the
they
offer.
release a chemical that activates the auditory
We always need PAs. If we
nociception
make another
system,
one of these,
which in turn signals
and
the
you live in
brain
Los
that
Angeles?
you are in extreme pain. Although this really hurts
were there any
my
filming
head,
struggles, restrictions
unlike
due to
in the
pandemic?
movie, it
Yes.
probably won't make it
Everything.
explode.
You know what? We talked about this last time a little bit, but let's just talk about the pandemic. The pandemic made things difficult. because it costs a lot, it turns out, to make sure that you have a safe set.
COVID testing.
So 3 times a week, every single person, as a part of this production, which was like 60 some odd people, had to get a COVID test 3 times a week, every person. When you got to set, you had to get your temperature read, do a COVID test, sign paperwork that says that you don't have it, all this stuff. And then every time, I remember specifically in this one, when I get the sound weapon at the end, whenever we would finish filming a take or we'd have to reset, I'd have to give it to the props people, and they would wipe it down.
Yeah.
And they would wear gloves, and then they would give it back to me.
Yeah. And every set has to be cleaned.
Every set has to be cleaned.
Before and after.
Yep.
It's just, it's very difficult.
And you can only have so many people on set. Like, one thing we ran into a lot, especially in Zombies and in Titanic, was that we were only allowed like 6, I think it was 6 extras.
Oh, yeah, the extras. Yeah, I forgot about
So we could only have 6 extras. Couldn't have any more. And they couldn't be near each other.
Yeah, making a zombie horde with 6 extras.
So that was difficult.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Let's get back.
Locations being closed.
Yeah, locations being closed is difficult. But on some cases, like Universal Studios or the Queen Mary for Titanic, they were like, no one is here. We're literally a tourist business. We have no tourists. Just please use us. All right, transition.
It felt like there was this viscous liquid.
Big Cass asks, how much did it hurt? I would say by the time I was like 3 meters away,
I don't know
or was it
what
2
level
meters
of
away?
volume I'm at.
I put it at like a 90 out of 100.
It would not kill the
Yeah,
alien.
you're not supposed to spend more than, what, like 15 seconds in front of
If
it?
Yeah,
only we
15
had some
seconds
sort
is the
of
max that you're allowed to stand in front of it before it
narrative-friendly
causes
sound
permanent hearing damage.
Like this?
I love this sound cannon.
That is perfect.
It's actually pretty simple. As you can see, I hooked
Was
up
the
a cassette
machine
tape
safe?
to a megaphone, ran
Rogue
into a
Shadow, if you
frequency
used
oscillator
it
to
within the
pump up the signal, and
parameters,
that's
if you didn't go
pretty
over
much it.
130 dB,
You know,
if you
this
only
is
did it for
amazing.
15
Do you
seconds,
think I
then it
could
was
borrow it?
relatively
'Cause
safe.
it'd be very helpful in trying to find my Vsauce family and maybe even that
I think
kid
the
if
most
I see
dangerous
him
thing we
again.
did this season
Yeah,
was
for
probably
sure.
the hypothermia demo in
Or-
Titanic.
Really
Do you need some backup? I could come with you.
Really
I'll
not
help you
fun
out.
doing it.
Yeah, that would be great. And you get some fresh air, you know, that might be good for you.
Yeah, plus you know what they say, 2 heads are better than 1, so if we work together, I'm sure we can find your
Sean
friend.
says, so fun.
It just
So
goes to
fun.
show the power of a
So
good collaboration.
fun.
I mean, you take some scientific rigor, add in
Ooh,
some
so
musical
here's where the
curiosity,
wizardry of
and
Eric
boom,
Langley
you got a
comes in.
sound cannon. Volume down. I'm
what
just
happens.
saying,
Thanks,
how cool
Henry.
is it that you and
Oh, you
I
haven't
were
seen
able
this
to make a
episode?
weapon that could destroy these aliens?
Ooh. Is that a real shadow?
It's Jeff.
Oh, nice. Good job, Jeff. Whoa! That was a real hit. Did you add, hold on. Did you add that puff?
Smoke has
That comes up?
Yeah. Because that thing weighed like, I don't know, like 3
Nothing.
pounds.
Hold on, let's watch that again. Let's all pay attention to when that metal piece falls after I hit the cabinet. There it is. Fake dust!
Yeah, so this is all cut down.
Yeah, there was a lot more.
Like
of
that
this
shot sped
creature.
up, like his movement isn't jittery.
There was a nice close-up here. I remember that because you had this beautiful close-up of the panel moving, like slowly moving up, and then it goes...
So each one of those panels has a rig attached to it, so I can control how they move, which is really, it's pretty cool. It's like one of the more sophisticated rigs I've ever made for a character. I can move those panels in any direction, distance, which one's open, which one's closed. Yeah, it's really fun. And that slime inside of his mouth is just some ropes jiggling around with clear texture. Yeah, it's a very sophisticated creature.
Well, that's
And he
weird.
has 6 legs too, which is not fun animating 6 different legs.
You're a very sophisticated man, Eric.
So this
This
is
is different.
on a completely different day.
Yep, that was... I'm talking to nobody. The kid's looking at nothing.
Listen to this.
That was... So that whole scene was extended more. There was more tension.
Yeah,
And like, oh, is the kid gonna die? Oh, is Jake gonna die? But we had to trim a lot of that out.
for legal reasons. That was much longer.
That was much longer.
What was that, Jake?
Why? Oh, kid.
That's my genuine reaction.
Wait. No. No.
Didn't really have. The ending was totally different.
Yes, it was. But we just had to improvise.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's good.
As always.
That's a 3D move too, isn't it?
Thanks
Yeah,
for
it's a
watching.
projection.
Okay, so let's actually go back.
I wish I had some.
Let's go back to that. So this is completely a 3D move.
Yeah,
None of this is real, right?
we had a photo of the stairs where 12 tone gets pulled out. It was just a photo. So there's a technique called camera projection. It's basically you project the photo onto a 3D object, and you can move around it in space. So it's like kind of fake 3D, but it looks pretty 3D.
But that's what I just really want to emphasize here, that obviously the aliens aren't real. But the doorknob, that is all not real.
Yeah.
That is all CG.
Yeah.
This whole entire shot is fake. Which is
awesome. It was supposed to be a drone shot, and you see a bunch of the aliens running through the forest, but we couldn't find, first of all, a good drone shot of a forest.
Yep.
And something to connect it with the house, because we didn't have the house either. So this was a good solution, I think.
Jay asked, are there going to be extended versions of the episodes? If YouTube wants to fund director's cuts, happy to do them. So, get it trending. #RoperCut on Twitter.
Like it.
Let's do it.
Again, must be tough to cut material. CJ that Eric made too. Extremely tough for me, because I spent a very, very long time making this.
All right. Well,
but
we're almost done, guys.
Yeah.
Should we finish it?
Finish it.
And as always, thanks for watching.
Victories on system.
No, I hope not. I hope I didn't.
Oh no.
Ooh, Harry Potter.
Come
Zombies.
get some. Let's make me
I
hyper.
didn't realize these were put in the order of which the episodes are released.
Oh, the need for speed.
I don't think you're going to survive this one.
All right.
That's right.
I don't think so. Emotionally, we didn't. All right, and transition. So, what other questions you guys have? What big influence does YouTube have on the production? Malthix asks. Well, any network or studio that you're working with, unless you're Steven Spielberg, has generally a lot of say in what you do. YouTube's very nice because ultimately they generally let us do a lot of what we want. They're very involved in the scripting process, so whenever we write a script, we send it to them. They send us notes, we revise, we send back. And the same thing in the edit, they'll send notes. But they're very agreeable if I disagree with something that they've said, they're usually pretty open to it, and we usually find a middle ground.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of collaboration,
Yeah.
because filmmaking is collaboration. And there's sometimes where they'll suggest something that I'm like, I don't really like that, but you know what? It just gave me an idea for something else.
Yeah.
Like, literally, the reason that we have the arrows on screen pointing was because of a note that we got when we made the pilot at Max, where they were like, we're confused. Could you explain this better? And I was like, I'll just literally draw it on screen.
Yeah.
And that became a part of the show.
Yeah.
And
it's fun. It's
yeah,
became like a style of the show.
So it's helpful. I'm never upset when I get notes, because if anything, they just lead to new creative solutions, which I really, really enjoy.
Which is filmmaking. Like, that's part of filmmaking.
Oh, Marianne asks, what is Ample? So this show is a co-production between Ample, which is a production company, and then Vsauce. So we both make the show. When finding people to collab with, do you need to reach out, or are people waiting on the doorstep? Usually I reach out, and then I find out after reaching out, they're like, oh my gosh, I would love to be in it. I was hoping you would talk to me. Is usually how it works.
Yeah.
Oh, Lavi, thank you.
Thank you.
That's very nice of you. What is the biggest issue in getting YouTubers?
Well, this year was
COVID.
Yeah.
Was the hardest part, because generally, most people are happy to fly here, be in the show, but we had a lot of difficulty. We'll talk about this more actually with the Harry Potter one. But with COVID, they would have to fly here. Then they'd have to quarantine for like 5 days.
Yeah.
And then they could be in the show. And that's a lot to ask of
Testing,
somebody.
Yeah.
To be like, hey, basically give us a week of your life for only 1 day of filming.
Yeah.
Like, people like Harris was totally for it. So he flew in from Utah. He quarantined himself in an Airbnb and then came to set. And that was very generous of him. But obviously not everyone can do that because of their schedules.
Yeah.
So that was the hardest part when it comes to talent this time around.
Did you plan on talking about the grain tower? That would have been awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in all these episodes that we want to talk about. Like, when we write the scripts, it's just pie in the sky, as Eric always gets scared of when he reads the scripts. He's like, how are we doing this?
Yeah, what was I going to say? What's the process before you write the script? Like like when you're talking about ideas about what to do in each episode,
Just
and they
do,
start
like, a
talking
treatment.
about crazy things, and I'm like, how am I going to make that work?
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's a lot, but it also just comes down to, and we'll talk about much more of this next week when we do Harry Potter live stream. But you have to make altercations depending on what environment you actually get. So every script changes from like, this is our idealized version to, oh, this is the actual location. How do we get everything that we want fit into this location so you make changes?
Yeah.
What are some things in the script? What are some things in the script that Eric has shot down due to practicality? Good question, Spin Kitty.
I'm trying to think of any. I usually can make most of them work. I think the flying one in Jurassic Park, I was like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jake and his dad were supposed to get picked up by the flying dinosaurs, and I was like, I don't know if I can make that work.
Ooh,
in time.
Ricky Pointer's here.
Yay.
Hearts in chat for Ricky, everybody. Ricky, you're a lovely person. Hearts in the chat for Ricky.
Flying on brooms. Oh, yeah, thanks, Dave Brown. Yeah, that was a no for me. We'll find out next week.
And Dave Brown's here. Any additional questions? What is your favorite type of science to teach and study about? I really enjoy, I would say, I guess it's not technically a science, but philosophy I really enjoy. And then if we're talking just science, specifically physics is really fun. But philosophy is my overall number one because it's just so fun. It just messes with your brain, which I find to be enjoyable.
Just why there's a lot of paragraphs.
Do you have Instagram? Yes. What? Can you help me with my science homework? Gamer Boy, for $20 million, I will do your science homework for you. You can pay me in Dogecoin.
Where does that number come from?
20 million?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just my price.
Okay.
You know, someone's gonna pay it one day, please, hopefully. But I think that's all we got for today. Few things. Tomorrow, Could You Survive Harry Potter comes out. It's a really fun episode. A lot of great people in it. Our biggest cast yet, I would say, in the amount of people that we have in an episode.
Yeah.
So Harry Potter comes out tomorrow, 9 a.m. There will also be a behind the scenes that comes out at 9 a.m. tomorrow. And then for the live stream next week, I will be gone on Wednesday. I apologize. I know I'm a terrible person. I decided to take 3 days off because I haven't taken time off in so long.
You don't deserve it.
I don't deserve it. I don't deserve anything.
Yes, you do.
So, thank you, Eric. So next week's live stream will be on Thursday at 1 p.m. PST instead of Wednesday at 1 p.m. PST. Yeah. So that's when we'll see you next. And we got Harry Potter coming out tomorrow. Next week, I think, is Zombie, which I really love. That's a great episode. Fun. Zombie comes out next week as well. And
someone asked if I have help on the effects. Yes, I do. I have another VFX artist I work with, Jason Miller, who's awesome.
He's a good lad.
He is.
A nice boy.
Yeah. Kind
eyes. Even though I found out that he's older than us.
So he can't have kind eyes?
No, he's not a nice boy anymore. He's a nice man.
Yes, he is a nice man.
You know, the student becomes the teacher, as they say. The Padawan becomes the Jedi, as they say. You know what I mean?
Apparently we talk to each other like we're a couple.
Who said that? Dave Brown?
Silver to silver.
All right. Well, gang, thanks again for your time. Yeah, thanks for watching. It was a lot of fun. We'll see you tomorrow for Harry Potter, and then we'll see you next week for the Harry Potter live stream. And, as always, thanks for watching.
I was so close.
You were so close, but it was right. And transition to the end.